Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Hazard TV. Today, we're going to be talking about the different Ertel variations of the General Lee between 1980, whenever they were first released, and then the early 2000s, whenever they ceased production of the iconic General Lee. So let's go ahead and jump right into these variations. Now, if you're in the Hot Wheels world like me and you think about variations, you think of variations like the variations between, for example, this is a baby blue Lamborghini, this is a white Lamborghini. That would be a variation because it's a variant of the original car, the baby blue um, Lamborghini being the one that came before the white Lamborghini, just kind of as a example. And there's tons of that stuff out in the Hot Wheels world. But one thing that has been standing out to us like a sore thumb, if in the Dukes of Hazzard community with these Ertl toys, but nobody has probably talked about, or if they have talked about it, not very many, and that is the variations with the General Lee. And why is it just with the General Lee? Well, there ain't much more to change with Daisy's Jeep, the cop cars, Cooter's tow truck, Uncle Jesse's pickup truck, and Boss Hogg's Cadillac. Why? All of them had a variation of white. Um, Not probably the only other car that had a little bit of a variation to it would have probably been Daisy's Roadrunner, but probably since that car wasn't as popular as the General Lee, it probably didn't have quite the long run as the General did. And also, you cannot. I'm sure you can, in some ways, make a variation of white, but I haven't seen it with the trucks, and I don't think they even made Uncle Jesse's pickup truck back then. Um, and actually, I have seen one, and it's the same color as the green light one. Um, and with Cooter's tow trucks, the only way you'd be able to make a variant of that is with the red on it and then the blue um, on the door on the bottom of it. But that's it. You really couldn't do too much with it because, um, as an example here, I'll grab this 3-pack here, which we'll be looking at this 3-pack a little bit. Look at the only car in there that's other than white. The cop car and the Boss Hogg's Cadillac are both white, and the General Lee obviously is its iconic orange color. So it's a little bit easier to spot variations with that one. So I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to look at some of the older General Lees that were in the package. We'll actually look at the one that's signed by John Schneider. Let's go ahead and check that out. So this is the one that was made in 1981 by Ertel. It is an original General Lee one. General Lee, Dukes of Hazzard, Ertel, 1/64th scale model. This is an original one. It hasn't been tampered with. This isn't a replica. This is a one-to-one This is a one-to-one. This is it. This is the General Lee. And one thing you can notice about this orange is it's a pretty standard orange for what the General Lee was on the show, because if you look at that orange, this orange, it's pretty similar to that bigger General Lee and then this General Lee right here. Now keep this color in mind. Actually, I'll grab I'll keep this one down here. Then I will grab a car uh from the 90s. This car right here is the variation that we saw between between the 1990s and also the early 2000s. So this is the last variation. There were only two variations of the General Lee, and it's not just the color of orange; it's also the size of the decals and the style of decals that they use. But you're probably thinking to yourself, how do you make a variation when the car is the same thing? Supposed to be the same color, supposed to be the same decals. Well, surprisingly, they actually somehow made a variation of that. I wonder if Ertel actually knew that they were making a different variation. So we'll go ahead. We'll put this generally up here for now. So we're going to go ahead and look at the decals on this one. They're low, almost to the bottom of the door, right? The orange is pretty dark. The rebel flag is almost covers the entire hood or the entire roof, and the General Lee writing is white, and it is pretty big. It is pretty big for the size of the car, which is realistic to the way it was on the show. Just for a reference, here's the bigger one, just so you can get a reference for that. All right, now we're going to go ahead and take a look at the one from the 1990s, the newer variant. Immediately, you can tell a size difference. Here. Immediately, you can tell a size difference with these two variations of the flag. The red also on this one, even though it has the card, the red on the rebel flag is darker than it is on that hood, on that roof. And also this lettering that says generally, it doesn't really show up very good on camera, is blue, and this on there is white. And also another thing, this generally's 01 is the black is fatter and the white is thinner, and it's the opposite on this one, just for a comparison right there. Yep, you can tell. The wheels obviously stayed the same, the iconic Ertel one. And on the 1981 variant, you can see there's no chrome color around the top of the car, around the wing window, or anything. Look on this generally. There's chrome or silver around there, around the wing window, along the top and down to the bottom. And then also, if we look at the taillights on the 1981, they are engraved to represent the where the taillights would have been. On this one, they're non-existent. I wonder if that was an error with this particular one, but I'd say it's not. So now we've looked at this one that's in the package, and we've looked at this one that is loose. Now, I'm going to get the exact same car, but it's in the 3-pack. Yeah, this is the car that's in the 3-pack. It's the newer variant. And the way that you can tell if it's the new variant is just by looking at the decals. If the decals look fatter and look a little bit more realistic to the show, that's more than likely a newer variant. This is actually an in-between, because the writing on there that says General Lee is white on this one, but the red on there is lighter, and also the orange is a little bit lighter too. It's a different variant. There's a comparison. Yeah, there we go. The wheels and stuff stay the same. Yeah, this is also, look at those tail lights. Then here's the other 90s one right there. See, they're pretty much, it's the same one. But one thing you'll notice, this doesn't have the chrome painting around the wing window, and then the front window, and over top of the car and along the bottom, which is a little bit interesting. And let's look at when this car was manufactured, because to my estimation, this car right here is rather a 1999 or a 2002. 1999 to 2002, roughly, because I'm sure there was another variation out there that I have not found yet. Now, if that has stayed the same, if somebody knows if that variation stayed the same between the 90s and 2014, let me know down in the comment section down below, because I would love to know. So this right here, what you can look for is right here. It has a little C with a circle in it, and you look for that on here, and that'll say 1997, the Earl Company, Darrensville, Iowa. So that tells you that this 3-pack was manufactured in 1997, licensed in 1997, and under licensed with Dodge Charger and other Chrysler Corporation since 1997. So this right here, that tells us that it was made in 1997 or 1998, around in that area. 1997 to 1998 is when this was made. So this is a little bit of an older variation, but this is kind of what I'm going to call the in-between stages of the older variation and then the new variation, which is the 1981 and the 2000. We'll call it a 2000s variation for SMG purposes. Um, so just for the sake of argument, in between period, 1981, older variant, less detail. Well, it's a trade-off. You get more with the older one. You get more realistic decals and engraving and all that stuff. But the decals are a little bit off. With the new variation, you don't have the tail lights, and the decals are a little bit more accurate to the show. This right here, kind of the best of both worlds, except for the tail lights. If it had the tail lights and stuff, this would be the variation that would probably be the most sought after, like the one that I would go for because it's the most accurate. But then again, a toy back then that was made in 1997 to 1981, you're going to get what you're going to get with those because back then they didn't have the technology that we do now to manufacture cars. Because if you look at custom General Lees that people have made out of Hot Wheels and stuff, and I'll actually grab one as soon as I find one. Right here. Now, I know y'all are going to say this is not the right orange. It's fine. But that right here, you can tell we get the tail lights and all that. Now, obviously, this is a custom General Lee, so it's not going to have everything perfect. But you're getting what I'm saying by we have a little bit more detail with newer Hot Wheels General Lees and stuff. So if you are going to build a custom General Lee, I do highly recommend that you go out there and you get a Hot Wheels a Hot Wheels 1968 or 1969 Dodge Charger. Or if you want to do a little bit more money spending, you can find a rough um, a 1969 Johnny Lightning Charger um, off of Facebook Marketplace and eBay and places like that. If you're willing to spend a little bit more money on a rougher charger to make into a little bit more of an accurate General Lee. Now, obviously, this company right here makes these things. So this is going to be the pretty much the most accurate that you're going to find in modern day stuff. Obviously, you can only get them at places like Cooters and stuff. So that just kind of, yeah. So, anyways, guys, that pretty much covers the top variations of the General Lee Ertel, which I'm going to be quite honest, it's pretty easy if you look close enough. It's pretty easy to tell because I remember whenever I found that 2000s General Lee at a flea market, I looked at it and I looked at the bottom of it. It says Ertel, and I'm thinking, okay, this could be um, a variation of the other one because I knew the other one was a darker color. I was like, I wonder if this is a custom. But I looked it up. It's not a custom. It is an actual General Lee. So if you find them, they are real, but they're a little bit newer. So if you see a variation like that, and it's loose, that's one thing about them. I found that one loose, and it has a little tag on it that says Ertel. It did not come in the blister like a Hot Wheel or the one that I have here signed by Bo Duke. They not all of them came like that. Now, back in the day, back in the 80s, they did all come like that. And then they also came in 3-packs and 5-packs and all that stuff, and 2-packs and all of that sort of thing. I think they came out with the first 5-pack first 3-pack in 1985. I think I might have that wrong. I might have that wrong. It was rather 84 or 85 whenever they first came out with the first 3-pack. I want to call it a 5-pack. We're not on Diecast Garage. We're on Hazard TV. Okay. Anywho, guys, this is a topic that I could kind of just talk about all night because it is about 10 o'clock at night. Why do I film these videos late? But anywho, thank you all so much for watching this video at Hazard TV, and if you wouldn't mind to go ahead and like and subscribe so you don't miss any more awesome Dukes of Hazzard related content coming right your way right off of this channel. And also, if you're into Hot Wheels and stuff, go ahead and go check out my other channel called Diecast Garage, and definitely go check it out because we have a little bit of Dukes of Hazzard stuff on there, but we also have a lot of Hot Wheels content coming out daily. So make sure you go and check that out. And also, if you're a Bluegrass fan, go out and check out my channel, The Banjo Kid. I also got a whole bunch of content coming out there weekly or monthly coming out there. I don't post as much on that channel. I don't know why. But go ahead and go check out all my channels and try and help support small content creators such as myself. And with that being said, thank you so much for watching and have a good one. Dukes of Hazzard fans, see you later. Bye.